Welcome to the most important podcast you are listening to right now. The A Show with April Hunter and Aron Stevens.
Yo, welcome to the A Show. We're just going to let it flow. This is DJ A+. Why? Because keeping it positive is a must. That's right. This show, we are going to go all positive all the time. We are going to try to be the Ted Lasso of podcasts, or at least have the Ted Lasso of the A Show podcast. This is the host of the A Show, April Hunter. I am her assistant.
Catch my wave.
There you go. Oh, I did. You know what? It was completely awkward. Yeah. Yes. So let's get into it. We've it's funny because we've each had a trying week, but actually we're gonna just take a pause here because I went on Instagram Live earlier. I went on Facebook Live to try to promote the show, and apparently I am having a pretty decent hair day. So
I would agree with that. I am not, which is why it's pulled back. But you are having a good hair day for us both. So
well, we said you have the widow's peak, and like right before we came on, we had a brief discussion of the widow's peak. And with me, I can have good hair days, bad hair days, whatever. But with a widow's peak, you just got to pull your hair back, and you automatically look cool. It's like you know something the rest of us don't. You're either descendant of royal blood, or you're a werewolf, or there's something cooler about you than the rest of us without widow. Yeah. So just something that we don't. Bottom line, and that's. Oh, Fred, you were on the last evening on the Instagram chat. Yeah, that was. I kind of let loose on the Instagram chat. What happened? And do you want to just get into this? Do you want to have this?
Yeah, let's do it. And by the way, hi Keon, hey Winona, hey Eva, hey EEM408. Wait, who is that? Is it Cynthia? Alexa, hey everybody, Allie. Nice to see all of you guys.
Yes.
I don't know if I missed anyone there, but hello.
Thank you for all coming out, stopping by, and we appreciate you getting in there and saying hi. So this is going to be a super positive show today. That's why I have the little plus sign by my name. And A+ just looked better. It just fit. But so I was on Instagram last night, and I'm on Instagram Live, and all of a sudden Ryan Nesmith joined, and you may know him as the Hollywood hunk in AEW, Ryan Nesmith. So Ryan joined, and then our friend Phil joined. Trent Beretta joined also in AEW, and then
I saw him last night when I joined in.
Yeah, and then Milk was there. And everyone that's familiar with my social media knows Milk. Has never really officially been in the business, but he's Milk. He's always there, Cool guy, really cool guy. But essentially, we just started talking like it was a group text between us, and like the world simply was witness to it. And I had to pull myself because oh, that's right. Because you know how it is when you're on with your friends, you're talking about stuff. And I got into telling different stories. And I think that's what Fred was referring to. We just had different stories about Florida, not even there was no OVW stories or anything. It was literally just a little peek into our lives in Tampa. And the only person that was missing from that is Alfred Simpson, but it was probably better he wasn't there because Alfred would have, he would have spilled the beans, shall we say. And it led me to really kind of think of this after, because my Instagram was hopping last night. It was pretty cool. So out of all, yes, Jack the Mayor, which I did tell the story of the mayor. Fred Tim just wrote Jacked, and there was a guy named the Mayor from Vancouver, British Columbia, who was a complete fitness lunatic. He looked like, I don't know why I'm telling the story on the podcast, but I'll tell it again. I don't care. Then I'll shut up after this. But I want to see how our listeners and our community, our family of the A Show family, I'm not going to make believe this is WWE family where we say we're family this and that, because WWE is not a family. But no, we are family in the sense of we meet once a week here. We exchange ideas, we discuss things, and we all participate in a civil discussion. So that is the extent of our family, but we are a family nonetheless.
We're community.
Yes. So anyways, the mayor. This dude looked like a normal guy. He showed up with a long sleeve shirt on. I mean, he looks like if anything, on the skinnier side. But when he takes his shirt off, he is the most shredded, cut, ripped individual I've ever seen. He has just enough like muscle size to be cut, if that makes sense. Like you wouldn't even know, like for him to flex an arm. You know how some people like they put a shirt on, you kind of can't tell, but you also kind of can. You know what I mean? Like the shoulders and everything. You can't tell with the mayor. He also doesn't have a belly button. He was born without a belly button. And that's a whole nother story. And would only consume egg protein because he was allergic to every other kind. And he would do push-ups constantly. And he was an extreme person. And he would always, you go, Mayor, how you doing? He goes, I'm jacked, bro. I'm jacked. And we still have nightmares to this day. And one of our other guests, Eric Rowan, Joseph Redbeard, Joe Rude, he, of course, maintained a friendship with him. And one time we had to go hang out with the mayor up in Canada when we were on the road. And I mean, again, I like the mayor. He's a good guy. It was just, he was jacked. So there you go. And I'd say that in a positive way.
And that's his gimmick.
That's his gimmick, but that's the story I told. And people went really crazy over it. I mean, they were digging the story. So like, as I was thinking, excuse me, not COVID.
Definitely COVID.
No, can't have the antibodies.
Not anymore?
No, have the antibodies now. And the voyeuristic element, where maybe that's why my social media is not where it needs to be, because I am so much like into privacy, and I'm not like, I don't want people to know what I'm thinking. I don't want, you know what? Look, this is a Sanctum Sacratum shirt. It's a wonderful Masonic clothing company right here, right? Shout out. But I don't want you to all know like what I have on for pants, or if I have any on. You know what I mean? That's how secretive I am. Like
I can verify that. Like, it's taken me a long time to get to know Aaron. He's very to himself, I guess.
To myself, but I do this really cool thing, and this is a little tidbit of information out there, kiddies. If you are personable and you are nice and kind and just have basic decorum and decency, but sprinkle a little bit of niceness and personability on that, you never have to reveal anything about yourselves. Because, oh, you're nice, yes, Aaron, but you never really have to kind of reveal too much. The one person to ever call me out on my scheme was Sean Davari, and I always respected him for that. He's like, I've known you for 10 years, and I don't know one thing about you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, because we've shared holidays together, we've shared meals, like what? The way she goes. But what can I say?
Well, you knew me for years, and you didn't know like 20 years, and you still didn't know stuff about me. So
true. Yep.
I always say there's layers. There's layers to your
Mm-hmm.
public persona.
Mm-hmm.
There are, there's what you allow people to say,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the stuff that nobody ever gets to see except for the 5
Mm-hmm.
people in your inner circle.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Yes,
agree.
and-
It's interesting, but does social media and like the popularity of, again, live streams and even just when you look at content, the voyeuristic element, it is there. It truly is there. And I just kind of took notice of it. And look, I'll probably tell more stories and go on and, have banter like I did before. But I just was like, oh, so like this is kind of one of the driving forces behind social media. People want to feel they know you in this fake. Well, it's not a fake world, but it's this cyber world.
I would disagree with that, actually.
Okay, please. I'd love your thoughts on this.
I think the point of social media is that people want to connect with you. So
Mm-hmm.
they use it as a way to maybe voyeuristic's part of it, but I also
Mhm.
think it's a way to connect as well.
Hmm.
That's why the comments and the joining in and everything
Hmm.
else, like like before social media, could you talk to your favorite celebrity or get a retweet or a comment back from them or anything? Could you ever reach out and talk to somebody in Hollywood or
Yeah.
literally royalty before social media?
No, you're right.
Prince Harry likes your tweet. That would never happen before.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair point.
you could send them a letter, and then like Eva says, send them a letter, and you might never hear from them. That letter disappears in the space. So
Hmm.
you could try, but you know, as sorry, I know you from Aaron's Facebook page, the CKY Halo, and I know that's not your name. Is it Chris? So there you go. I like not knowing everything about people because learning something new each day is so fun, right?
It is, man. And you know what? Mr. Rogers taught us that. And I wonder what Mr. Rogers would do in the world of social media.
Oh boy, that's a good question.
Can you imagine what the neighborhood of make-believe?
Scott, thank you.
What the neighborhood of make-believe would be like if social media existed. Instead of learning how to make crayons and graham crackers would be no. Remember that? Remember the videos used to play? Like,
yeah.
Would we learn how to like make cell phones or how to use Google? How to like what would be different back then? And because I think Fred Rogers, and if you haven't seen the video on him, it's amazing. We've actually talked about that on one of the first episodes.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, like, to me, that's the last true wholesome icon that this country or North America really has produced that I can think of. Like, you can't heal Fred Rogers for anything. You know what I mean? He was a vegetarian, but he didn't judge you for eating meat. You learn the hard lessons in life sometimes. And it's interesting because, like, with today and with everything going on, what would his show be? Could we do his show? Could we do a Mr. Rogers Neighborhood without offending anyone? I don't think we could.
No, actually, Fred says, "What about Bob Ross?"
Okay,
it's hard. It's hard to heal out Bob Ross.
It's very hard to heal out Bob Ross.
He's going to paint you a happy little tree right here.
But like, there's a difference between "Hi neighbor, how are you? It's good to see you. We'll see you next time." Or
Eva said maybe he would have taught us.
You're just going to paint happy little trees. Everything's happy.
Eva says Mr. Rogers maybe would have taught us how to cook. So,
could have taught. Yes.
Like Julia Childs.
Eva, that's just you want me to just do the Julia Child voice.
I do. Please do it.
Now it's not. No. Maybe if at some point in the podcast it calls for it.
Wait, okay,
I will do Julia Child.
And Aaron will do Julia Childs.
So this is how we keep viewers. This is how we keep viewers. Should a situation call for, or be called for, that Julia Child needs to come out, she will. But the Bob Ross situation, you can't heal him. But come on, you mean tell me there ain't some skeletons in that guy's closet? What's he hiding in that giant afro of his? Like, come on. But he is hard to heal. However, I wouldn't trust, like, if I had kids.
Thank you.
If I had kids.
Eva cheers some bitch. Bits.
What's that mean? What did you say?
Scott and Eva cheered bits. And I said, yeah, so they want you to do Julia Child.
Okay. But no, so it's interesting again about Fred Rogers, and again how he would deal with society today. There was an Indigo deck of cards that didn't like.
There's an Indiegogo for a deck of cards that didn't have face cards because the creator didn't like that the queen was worth less than the king in card games. So King Friday. Huh.
Wow.
Really?
Wow.
I mean, there's just a bunch of people waiting to be offended by everything, huh?
Well, but here's the deal. King Friday was stupid in his own way. He wasn't the emperor's new clothes, but King Friday was not the glue that held the royal family together. We all know it was Princess Tuesday. Or no, Queen. Was it Queen Monday? Who the hell was King Friday's wife? It doesn't matter, but we know the one. We know what the puppet looks like. But there was Prince Tuesday, King Friday, and what the hell was his wife's name? I don't know, whatever. But no, the and you know what? No, I'm going to learn the wife's name because she was, and this is the kind of stuff that we need to think about. How come I can, I know the Daniel Tigers and Rex the Owl, and the lady that lived in the museum.
I do not know what you are talking about at all.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I don't know. So what are we talking about right now?
You don't know about the neighborhood of make-believe?
No. When was this?
April. It's Mr. Friggin' Rogers. The guy's been around since black and white.
I know,
TV.
but I'm a little older than you are. I stopped watching at a certain point.
He was around when TV was black and white. But this is like a formative. Like I haven't seen Mr. Rogers in a very.
I forget. I've had a few head injuries. I forget things. Oh, and Colin just mentioned. What about Tiger King 2 is coming out?
That's going to be something to see.
Did we ever run your promo? Did we ever run your thing where you were playing Liger King?
Nope.
We need to. Okay, so at one point, Aron shot a bunch of.
It was so sad. So sad.
Yeah, he became the Liger King, and he got on a. He shot a bunch of really fun footage of the Liger King and wasn't able
Queen
to
Sarah.
use it. Huh?
Queen Sarah. That's all.
Queen Sarah. Okay.
It was Queen Sarah.
Okay.
I had to say it. Sorry, April. I tried. That was my contribution for crushing the patriarchy.
That's okay.
I needed to say Queen Sarah because that will now be forever etched in my memory. So I just tied up. I just tied up some loose ends. So you know what? I can tell my therapist that this week. I tied up some loose ends from my childhood. I have a more balanced childhood. King Friday, Queen Sarah, and Prince Tuesday.
All right. So I used to live in an area where the residents were older. And when I walk around, occasionally I would get to talk to some of them. And I would ask them, what is the greatest invention of your lifetime? Do you know they all said the same thing? So you guys, guess what they said the greatest invention of their lifetime was? These are people who are like 80, 85, 90 years old. Take a guess in the chat. What do you think the greatest invention of somebody who is 90 years old, what do you think the greatest invention of their lifetime is? Pacemaker. Huh? I mean, for some, yeah, probably. The refrigerator.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer.
It is. The refrigerator, toilet paper, the Slinky. Definitely a Slinky.
Yeah.
Got any others? Sliced bread.
Sliced bread. That's pretty cool.
Totally a cliche. Now, I would have guessed dry shampoo. Like, that's what I would have voted for. The newspaper. I think the newspaper has been around for a long time, since like the, 1500s? The airplane. Okay, that's a good one. Keep going. Anybody else? The remote, right? You don't have to use your kid anymore. Hey, bro, come here. What do you want, Dad?
You know what? That's a huge one.
Change the channel.
That's a huge one.
Combustion engine, car. There you go. Playa 180. The internet. Ding, 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 ding. Give that man a prize.
Bam. Bam.
Every single one of them said the internet. So, yep. You guys have some good guesses, though. Color TV, color according to my mom, TV, but yeah, the internet.
Interesting that we think of things that make our life easier, right? The remote control,
Yep.
like we don't think like penicillin.
Right? Well,
You know what I
penicillin
mean?
was actually around since I want to say,
Or something like that, like penicillin, or
1700s, 1800s. Yeah.
yeah, but like or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that.
I know. Like
That's what I'm trying to say. Like some kind of
hearing aids,
medical here.
or
Yeah, something like that.
right, indoor toilets, like Eva says.
Mhm.
Electricity.
Yeah, man.
Well,
Yeah, the piss jug business bombed after that, though.
Did you know? Okay, here's something useless. Did you know that people did not want indoor plumbing? They did not want the toilets in their house.
Isn't that crazy?
They consider that to be dirty, disgusting, and just yuck. So
it's awful.
And yep. So,
although in my Uncle Mike's case, actually, in the majority of the male members of my family's case, that's probably a good idea.
So, and hey, everybody who's joined us, welcome. But yeah, people had to be convinced to put a toilet in the house. They were like, I don't know. It's
the positioning of it. Okay, so there's there's a home in my family that the shit house is. I'm sorry, the bathroom
That's okay.
is centered.
That's why it's called a shit house.
Yeah, it's centered. Sorry, I apologize. Yeah. It's centered in a central location in the house. So
that's why I was getting it. You're from Massachusetts, right? And when we were in Massachusetts, that's like the oldest area of the United States. So all the pipes were together. So you often put the bathroom right where the kitchen is.
And you walk in the house, you walk past the bathroom. You're in the kitchen. You're by the bathroom. When you turn, because there's things like kitty corner, in the living room, you are still one open foyer away from the bathroom. And there have been several Thanksgivings.
Mr. Hanky.
That's all I'm going to say. So it's positioning. It's positioning. Nowadays, they have stuff you spray, before you even go to the bathroom. Yes, and
the poop parade.
But the whole thing is interesting. Yeah, like I can, I would rather freeze in the dead of winter and have to put boots and stuff on. Not even going to think about how cold it was. Right? We have heated toilet seats now. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Eva said the Florida. No, I don't know because I don't know. I haven't been here that long, but she said that the bathrooms were in the garages in Florida. So the men's bathroom was in the garage, I guess. So,
really?
Yeah, they kept the toilets in the garage, which could get pretty miserable in the heat, I would imagine. I mean, the garage would be like 120 degrees, but
yeah, you go outside, you see a lizard. You just don't need that.
Or an alligator. So.
Yeah, that's interesting though. The garage, yeah.
Yep.
Crazy.
And, where I grew up in Pennsylvania, we had an outhouse. Like we grew up in an old house, so that the house had one bathroom, and I think and no air conditioning. And there was an outhouse out back that wasn't supposed to be used, but like you got one bathroom and 4 people in there. Sometimes you're going to use that outhouse. So I grew up thinking an outhouse was kind of normal. So,
wow.
I was surprised, like everybody doesn't have an outhouse. What? So, yeah.
No, I've never had an outhouse, but I've made a couple. In terms of like I've peed in some really strange places and situations in my life. So my friend Matt, he's a lifelong friend of mine. We were about juniors, seniors in high school. And he had a nice house on top of a hill, on top of Carpenter Hill Road, and just an amazing piece of property. We had our first ever backyard wrestling matches in his backyard. It was a hell of a house, and he had you'd walk in, and there would be a giant entryway foyer, and you would go into the house, and if you went right, but if you went left, there was the garage, and above the garage was a giant living room with a TV and couches and everything. And then he had a giant bedroom with a computer and everything like that. So it was the first time I really discovered the internet there. I remember.
Why'd your eyes light up like that?
I was just like, you know what I'm saying? I remember the one thing that was missing there was a shit house. So if one of us had to piss and like the other guy was in the other room, because you don't piss in front of other dudes, like it's unless you're in the woods. We weren't that uncivilized. And this is on the second floor. This is above the garage. So this is a second story window, and there are no other houses around. It is pitch dark. So when you see the house and you see the lights from the house, it's like this glowing lighthouse on the coast, like the Castle Rock movie type shit, right? It's that kind of a scene. It's pitch black everywhere else. And we would open the sliding window, and it was like a barn style garage, right? What?
We got bits cheered to us. Thank you, Scott. I think you should tell the story in Julia Child voice.
What is the cheer thing?
That was because we're filming in a different format. When they're in Twitch, so when that happens, they're cheering bits.
Oh, and the bits are just like applause.
Well, yes, but that also costs money. So they're throwing money at us. They're tipping.
Well, shit!
So
thank you very much. That's really cool.
Yes, yeah, you didn't know that.
Of all things, the piss story with Matt is that's crazy. So, anyways, I'll continue saying it.
Each bit is a petty donation. So it'll add up after a while. So
this is
tipping us.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you for your tips. Thank you for your subscriptions.
This is above the garage now, pitch black, and we would open the sliding door because the window would open like this. It was like a sliding door because the windows were huge up there, right? Second story.
Julia Child's voice.
Time's not right. I have to make people trust me. For all of you waiting for Julia Child, trust me, I'm a master of entertainment. I'm going to do this when you least expect it, and it's going to be 10 times funnier. So just bear with me.
Okay.
And I just told you it, and I'm still going to do it. So, so the window would slide, and we would pee. And it was late at night. We were watching some kind of a movie. I don't know what the hell it was. Like he had to be up early to go to work. I was crashing at his house, but I was probably going to drive home. You know what I mean? I was like, whatever. I got to piss. So I go and I start taking a pee. And the light was on. So you could see pretty much like the light, the silhouette, and the shadow of an individual taking a pee. Well, out of nowhere, about 5 cars come up the road. And because it was like they had high beams on and everything. And the way it was, I was in midstream. And, luckily there was a tree that I think kind of guarded myself.
Your weenus?
Yes. Seeing any private parts exposed. But they definitely saw that a dude was taking a pee out of the second story window, and the piss was just going down. And but grass always grew good on that side of the house, and it was always a little greener, shall we say? But that was the story. I couldn't hold it in. I couldn't hold back. I had to stay there and continue the pee while these people were heading up the road. So that was
driving up there, going, "Is somebody pissing out the window?"
Yeah. Yep. Just standing there, and Matt had admitted that a couple times, like he'd done it, and people were they were there and they saw him, and he don't give a shit. And so yeah, there's the house has since been sold. It's sad. I actually, when I'm home, I drive by there all the time, or at least not all the time, but at least once. That's my little memory lane trip. I got to go up Carpenter Hill, look at the property and all the stuff, man, that went on there. I started my wrestling career in that place.
Well, here's a fun story that's happening right now. The astronauts out in space right now have to wear undergarments on their way back to Earth because their toilet is broken. Shitter's full. Shitter is fucking full. So being an astronaut, you think that there would be certain things you don't have to do because it's a glamorous, amazing job. But nope, you have to wear freaking diapers if you're an astronaut and sit in them for I don't know how long. So, everybody poops.
I don't want to be too talk heavy this episode. I want to have a good balance, but whenever I can say something, let me know.
Say something.
To send people into outer space, the engineering it takes, the science behind it, from the people that make the parts to the people that calculate the amount of force needed to go to the moon and land on this place and do that. There are things that are far beyond a realm of comprehension that I will most likely ever have. And you have to wonder, like, was this something that was done on purpose? Have you ever seen Rambo First Blood Part 2? Have you?
No, I have not. I thought you were asking them, not me.
So,
I might have a long time ago.
Yeah. So, by the way, you're very movie deprived.
I know. I was on tour. I've been on tour since I was a teenager. I have been on the road in a tour bus since I was a teenager. Mm-hmm. I only recently, like a few years ago, like this decade, got home.
Okay. And no, you can't flush into outer. I'm sorry. Someone said, "Can you flush it out?" You can't flush in outer space because you know how cold it is in outer space. If you flush into outer space, what's going to happen is that thing's going to come out of the rocket ship, instantly freeze, and then start orbiting something, and then collect more shit. Okay, and I don't mean actual shit, but then that's going to turn into something that'll be an asteroid that comes and destroys the Earth 100 years from now. If you want random clumps of shit and piss floating around the atmosphere, that is not a planet I want to live on. That is not a universe I want to be a part of. We have stars, we have comets. We don't need flying projectiles of shit. You know, just.
It's part of the Eisenhower Treaty with the aliens. No space shit dumping.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes. And then, like, you ever see that thing comes in the atmosphere? When it comes in the atmosphere, it starts burning up. Do we want a giant ball of flaming shit coming crashing down at the Earth? You know,
wouldn't that be just appropriate that that's what destroys Earth? A flaming ball of shit. What's coming at us? We have ducked and dodged so much. Oh God, ozone. Oh my God, all this stuff.
Ozone, COVID, the Black Plague,
crazy, all the
disease, famine.
Ball of shit.
At the end of the day, it's a giant ball of our own shit.
Of our own shit.
Like we take a shit on ourselves. I mean, that's what I'm saying. And now,
karma right there.
Let me ask you this: if that thing collides with another planet, we go to war, and you know what? We would be the bad guys. Like
we would.
Look, you just launched something through space, and literally your shit just came, and so we can't do that. So that's funny. That's funny.
Space capsule X. So we have asteroid Brandon headed right at you. How do you want me to proceed?
It's crazy. So now I get back to the Rambo analogy. At the end of Rambo, you know, they were it was like modernized military, right? It was very like they had computers and everything else. And his job was to take pictures only. I don't want to ruin the movie, but pretty much everyone but April has probably seen it. So he goes there and he rescues these POWs, and then he's abandoned by his own people, by the Americans that are in Vietnam. They abandon him. He finds his way back, fights his way back. The computer and the calculations, they were wrong, this and that. So he comes back and he takes, it's an M60, which is one of those guns that they put on the back of it, or on the side of a helicopter. And he had the bullets, and he just shoots up everything, right? He shoots up the equipment. He shoots up, just takes everything out. Didn't hurt a human being, but like shot the technology because that's what was wrong. And, you know, it was actually a very powerful scene. If I was an astronaut, what I would do is I would land, go have a wonderful dinner with my family, right? I'm talking braised duck combined with an essence of perhaps astronaut ice cream, just to make sure the stomach is eased into the ways back into our planet we are not at zero gravity. But when cooking in zero gravity, one can never forget the importance of hot water. So there you go. See, you guys weren't expecting that, but I just did it. So now I would go and have a wonderful meal with my family. right? Because if I was an astronaut, I'd probably be more mentally stable and have things like a family and whatever. But I'm kidding. But
Sorry.
so I would go eat with them. I'm on fire tonight. I would go eat with them.
You
It's a good
are.
hair day. Good hair day, and the brain
God.
switched on.
Oh God.
So
Ah,
I would go eat, and then I would go back to work the
bless my
following
heart.
day. I would go back to work the following day, and I would go into the science room, and I would stand on top of the equipment, and I would defecate all over the equipment and say, next time you're going to shoot me up in a capsule, you better make sure that, I ain't pissing in my underpants. At the very least, install some kind of a zero gravity piss jug. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Come on.
I think they should ask for more money when they get back. Like, okay, I had to sit in my own shit for a couple of days. My ass is like got ass raw diaper rash. I think I
New meaning to the word asteroid.
Yeah, right.
An asteroid
Right.
and a hemorrhoid.
I think there should be like some kind of compensation there. So that was not part of the job description, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yep.
But
Yep.
Seriously. So hey Cam. Hey everybody. I see more people have joined us. Hello. There's a bit of a hitch to that. That equipment is what's keeping you alive up there. Yeah, no kidding, right? Branroid.
No. The equipment. No, when I'm back to Earth.
Oh, Brendan Royd.
So yeah, the mission is over when I'm back to Earth, right? So I would wait, have a meal, and then next time do something about this. That's what I would do. I wouldn't do it while there's other lives at stake, Or maybe you could just defecate in the middle of the room. We are just, we have been on the subject of bodily excretions for way too long.
All right, let's switch.
Literally, like my name is A+. We're going to talk about something positive. We've been laughing. We've been getting tipped, and all we're talking about is piss and shit. So let's move on, please. This is not what I signed up for. This is
that's funny, but it's funny.
Sorry, I apologize to the viewers.
Speaking of healthy body movements, we had talked earlier about doing some healthy tips and fit tips and diet tips, and I wrote a top 5 list for people because the holidays are coming up, right? And I read somewhere that on average people gain 12 pounds during the holiday season. I don't know if that includes Halloween also. Yeah, gotta love a good shit show, right? This is a shit show. You're watching it.
Yeah.
So, but 12 pounds during the holidays. So here's a few things you can do to not gain any weight during the holidays, or maybe just keep it to a minimal, like at 2 pounds or something.
Why are your jaw shut?
Well, that's probably one of them. But the second best thing to do is number 1 right here. Don't ever get fucking hungry. So how do you do that during the holidays? You carry snacks with you everywhere, just like a child. So always have snacks. Always. And when you leave to go to a party or go out to dinner, because you know how the weights are right now, have a protein drink before you leave your house. Yes, I'm suggesting you eat before you go out to eat. That way you don't get to where you are. And after you've done you waited, and then you see the menu and you're just like, I'm having everything. So don't ever get hungry. And that way you don't sit there with your coworker's bowl of peanut M&Ms, those Christmas red and green ones, and eat the whole freaking bowl.
Or peanut butter M&Ms, which we all know are far superior.
Oh, or chocolate chip cookies. Yeah. So
that you know what? If there has been a downfall, chocolate chip cookies and brownies with me.
Yes, and don't. That's what you bring
donuts.
them to my house when you're here. Do not bring the fucking brownies to my house.
Well, if you have company, you have to have, like.
No, you don't have to.
Yes, you do.
No.
Oh my God,
no,
yes.
He brings a whole thing of brownies. There's no brownies in this house. Nobody eats brownies in this house. He brings brownies and puts chocolate chips and brownies on the table. It's like we're having a gathering. Everybody eats the brownies. You know who eats the brownies? I do. The whole thing. No.
Here's the thing. The way I'm sorry. Top 5. Continue. We're gonna come back to this.
Go ahead. Number 1, don't ever get hungry. I was obviously hungry. I ate all the brownies. Go ahead. These are a classic example because everybody screws up.
Look, I'm just saying, I believe that when you have a gathering, it is better to have more food than needed than not. That's just kind of the way, like, my family did it, I guess. Like, when we hosted and everything, like there was, okay, this isn't even a holiday scenario. Those of you that grew up in the Northeast area will know this. You will 100% absolutely know what I'm talking about. Regardless of socioeconomic status, there was always some kind of an Entenmann's dessert.
Oh yeah,
that was reserved for company.
Yep.
That you didn't touch it, and it was Entenmann's. It could have been the raspberry coffee cake. It could have been the pound cake. It could have been the coffee cake, the crumble, a thing of brownies. There was some kind of an Entenmann's offering that you would give to company while they came over and had coffee. And throughout the week, the rest of the family would eat the cheap shit. But the Entenmann's that was reserved, and everyone, again, if you were raised in the Northeast or know people who are back in the day, this is a real thing. And as a host, I try to proverbially put out my Entenmann's best. Yes, we're going to have maybe some people like brownies. You know what? What if people don't like chocolate? We have an alternative. So then we will have maybe a snickerdoodle cookie or a plain pound cake. Like, if you have a little something like that, it's okay. That's
everybody's agreeing with you in the chat. They're like talking about
my opinion.
Yep.
And
my mom would cook too much. Yeah.
I talked about this a little bit last night on the Instagram live, but everyone knew that Santino and I, when we lived together in Tampa, when we said, like, hey, we're having, like, if you wanted a party, you would come to our house in Tampa on Albany Street, right? Like, that was what we did. So, like, we were always doing something. We were the fun wrestlers, shall we say?
Santino is one hell of a cook. I want to actually say chef. He's good. Like, he's the one who kind of taught. I picked up some stuff from him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, he thinks he's cool, and he's not as cool as he thinks.
Well, don't show him this, but don't. I'm just saying he is a good cook.
Oh, no, very good.
Chefs it right up.
Yeah, he does well. He does well. So
we're supposed to be talking about fitness, not
fitness.
Like,
so all right,
tips, not destroying diets right now.
Okay, so please continue with fitness. I'll shut up now.
Not that you have to shut up. I'm just saying. We're supposed to be talking about what people can do, not what they should not be doing.
Mm-hmm.
One is what you should not be doing is going over to Aron and Santino's during one of their parties because they cook way too much. So,
well, yeah, when we said we were having a party, people knew to come because, and you've been to a couple of our, right? Yeah. Where it's like, were you at like ever at a big, or were you at like one of like just a dinner?
I was at dinners.
Okay, so we still slightly overdid it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was just a slight.
It's like you and Serena and Nemeth and
yeah. We would all, it's weird. We would all take pride in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, I overdo it slightly. So those of you that ever invite me to a party,
don't get hungry. Yes, well, you carry the tradition on well. So you do well with your parties. Okay, so don't get hungry, people. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Number 2, walks and crunches and little things, they all add up. So if you don't have time to go to a gym, if you don't have time to go for a full-on 30-minute walk, little things actually add up throughout the day. If you take the stairs, if you just circle around the neighborhood or the parking lot, or like all that little stuff does add up, and something is always better than nothing. So even if you can only get in 5 or 10 minutes, that's still 5 or 10 minutes that you didn't have. So just take it. Even if you can only get in 25 crunches, and 20 push-ups for the day, that's still more than what you had, and it does add up. So that's number 2. Get something in, it all adds up. So so there you go. Don't get hungry, get something in. Number 3. Cam, another tip: when you go to the store, park the furthest spot away from the store. Well, you know how it is in Florida, where the best parking spot is not always the closest parking spot. It's the one with the shade. So, but for everybody else, park as far away from do that, or take the stairs. You have anything to add to the crunches and the walking and the steps adding up and all that stuff?
No.
Okay. Crunches
and sit-ups add up, and so does a handful of M&M, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, thank you.
It works both ways.
Yes. Yeah. Which way do you want it to add up? Thank you. Mm-hmm. That's a brilliant thing to add, actually. Okay. Number 3, 1 pound is 3,500 calories. So feasibly, you could lose a pound a week without doing anything if you were to cut out your drinks with calories. So if you cut out 500 calories a day in your drinks, that's over 7 days, that's 3,500 calories a week. So you could drop 4 pounds a month doing that. So you can see where like a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there adds up. So Chuck says, I lost 45 pounds during the lockdown by walking all the time. I feel like a lot of people lost weight during the lockdown.
And other people found it.
Yeah, yep. Eva says, drink a lot of water. I tell you, I worked at Convention not too long ago, and I didn't want to say anything to the people that I worked with, but there were people there that had gained so much weight that I didn't really recognize them anymore. Their faces had changed so much that I wasn't sure if they were who I thought they were. So they had changed that tremendously. Mm-hmm. And I know that can't be good. It can't, because every pound that you lose is 7 pounds of pressure off your joints and ligaments and your spine. So,
wow.
Yeah, let me repeat that. Every pound you drop is 7 pounds of pressure off your joints and ligaments and spine.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, keep that in mind. Especially now with everything going around, it tends to, the virus does tend to affect people who are heavier, it seems, more dramatically.
Look at this. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
The USDA, without really advertising it, raised the daily regimen from 2,000 calories to 3,500. I didn't hear about that.
What? Really?
Is that
when?
Really? I didn't. That's well, they didn't advertise it, but I mean, that to me is just promoting obesity because we've never been less active. Culturally, the last 20 years, like
3,500 calories.
Check it out. I got to start eating more than.
Hey, personally, I think everybody should believe in things like the USDA, the FDA, the NIH. I think they all have our best interests in mind.
Hey, and that's a positive way to put it, because this is the positive show. My God.
All right.
We talk about our wonderful, wonderful, beautiful country and the, humanity, and it's all negative. We talk about bodily excretions, and everyone's laughing, having a good time, and tipping, and then throwing them what do they call bits?
Yep, tipping bits.
We're getting hits on the bits. You know what I mean?
Tip enough bits, they get like lots of peck fuxing and stuff.
That's right.
Yep. Maybe more Julia Child.
You never know; she'll come up at any time.
Okay, so number 4, apples. Apples are like a miracle freaking food. Do you know apples are so low glycemic, and they have such a low glycemic index that they can be subbed out for a vegetable. You can do like lots of things with them too. I mean, they're the perfect.
I've been eating an apple a day, not in a pie, and an apple by itself.
Yeah.
They hydrate.
They fill you up.
Yep, keeps you regular.
Yeah, they wake you up too.
One of my meals every day is a protein shake, a bagel with peanut butter, and an apple.
Cool.
And it's
cool.
That's it.
Cool.
Yep. An apple. Yeah, it is a boss food.
It is a boss food. Yep.
It caused the fall of man doesn't mean it's not nutritious and delicious. You know what I mean?
So, Eating every well, I told you should eat every 2.5 hours, right? And that's worked out for you.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
So
well, we won't go into that.
I tell that to everybody. I think everybody should eat about 5 meals a day. So, or more. So I think everybody should eat every 2.5 to 3 hours, something really small, but you should eat small meals all day long. And then we go into number 5, which is intermittent fasting. What are you going to show? What you got?
The Gatorade protein bar. It's funny. Protein bars all used to have 30 grams, and now people, it's 20 grams, 18. It's like, what the hell out of it? Just go to at least 25, but tastes really good. I'm a big taste guy. This thing is pretty on point. My favorite protein bar out there. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, almonds are good. And Cam, I'm going to tell you, here's why eating 1 meal a day is bad. If you're not doing like some protein drinks and stuff in there. What happens is when you eat less frequently, your body thinks it's starving. So you're slowing your metabolism down because it's trying to conserve the body fat you have as energy. So by eating 1 meal a day or twice a day, you're screwing your metabolism up and slowing it down. Whereas if you're eating more frequently, your body will rev back up knowing that it's constantly getting fed. It'll pick itself up. So I'm not saying eat full meals 5 times a day. I'm just saying, eat small meals, like a protein and something several times a day, or have your 3 meals and have 2 small ones in between. And that way your body, isn't afraid to burn because it knows it's going to have more to burn. So, and then once a week, have a cheat meal. Because if you have, Gail Kim's husband does make a killer protein bar. Mm-hmm. Once a week, you have been like lowering your calories. You want to go ahead and stoke the furnace by having a cheat meal once a week. You should go out to do that instead of buying the food, because we all know it's impossible to buy like 1 meal's worth of food. You're going to have it left over to like Monday and Tuesday. So go pick up your cheat meal.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
And then the next day, go low carb. So what you do is you stoke the furnace up with the cheat meal. You're taking in the extra 2,000 calories for that day on top of everything else. And then the next day you drop down and go low carb. So now your furnace is turned way up. The day after you're burning. And then you go back into your regular eating for the week.
Well, that's funny because what I do, like before, and now I've been following what you've said, and it actually, I will say, because my thing is eating at night. I'm a horrible night eater. The 2.5 hours, and you just get your protein in you, and because I am trying to get a little bigger now and put on some more muscle, but it's like you're getting your protein in you, and again, have it like an apple, have a little bit of a carb here and there, but just keep it sensible, and it's great. I mean, I feel much better, and in the first couple of days, like I'm pretty in tune with my body, so I can kind of like say, oh yeah, that's definitely going to work and something you can stick to. But however, with the holidays, can you plan your cheat meals around like Christmas? Is it like Thanksgiving, that kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, you should choose your poison. Okay. So let's talk about a few of those things right there.
What about Festivus, April?
Well, it has some Festivus. We're going to have a cheat meal on that day.
43 days, 6 hours, 26 minutes, and 1 second to the Festivus party. It's going to be
having a Festivus party.
Countdown.
All right, let's talk about eating at night, you guys. I have eaten at night.
Did she just get cut off?
And you better tell everybody and make them be here too. Huh?
I thought you just got cut off.
Can you hear me?
You did this weird freezing thing. So just repeat what you were saying about eating at night.
Oh,
you said eating at night.
Was I in a really unflattering pose?
No.
Somebody took out our internet last week. Something happened and the internet is semi down in the area, so I might have some issues here. I called them earlier. Okay, so eating at night, let's talk about that. And yes, Festivus. We are having a big Festivus. You all better be here. You all better bring your friends here, bring your family here. We're going to be airing the grievances. So eating at night.
Yes, okay. She cut out again, but yep. You did. You cut out again, but like what it was is everyone be here because we're all going to be airing the grievances.
Okay. So, first off, liquor. Someone said beer's a downfall. Switch to vodka. Vodka is low sugar. So low glycemic, low sugar. Everybody that is an athlete drinks the vodka. So if you can switch over, you will have less of a problem. Okay. Secondly, eating at night. I have eaten at night up until I go to bed my entire life because I can't go to sleep if I'm hungry. Like my stomach will just growl the whole time. So it's not the eating at night that will fuck you up. It's what you're eating at night that will fuck you up. So if you are choosing proteins and that's what you're eating at night and sugar-free options, you'll be okay. Like if you have a sweet tooth at night, highly recommend like sugar-free Jell-O, sugar-free pudding. You can use whipped cream, regular whipped cream because it's low sugar.
The cream is real.
The cream is real. The cream doesn't go bad.
Nope.
Beef jerky, bacon jerky. They make so many snacks now that you can get away with that are you can be smart about it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you don't want to sit there and eat a bag of candy and cookies and all that shit. You want to find something healthy.
My Uncle Mike one time ate a whole roll of Oreos. Okay. Mm-hmm. In the middle of the night. Like it wasn't even like a thing like I'm going to sit and watch a movie. He said in the middle of the night, he just got up, poured a glass of milk and just ate a bunch of Oreos. My family, and I struggle with this. So if
I'm not going to lie, I have done that before.
Really?
Yeah.
A whole thing. Jesus.
Probably. Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. Or the better part of it. Yeah.
No, my Uncle Don, man, there's picture evidence of this. My Auntie Donna makes very good finger sandwiches. All right. And in the holidays, they are produced in mass. Okay. There is chicken salad, ham salad, and egg salad. And, we put little potato chips in them and there's a crunch. It's amazing. The bread she uses, gets them at Park and Shop in Auburn. So every year there's always finger sandwiches floating around. So there was again, in my family, everyone's over everyone's house for dinner. So this is like in between Christmas and New Year's, I think, that all the women in the family got together with their extended cousins and everything. And everyone brought something and they said, okay, so for the next night, we're all going to go over to my parents' house and have, what's it called? Just have like a meal of like leftover things so we can then cook and prepare for the next holiday. So Auntie Donna was going to bring, I think it was some chili, some Italian sausage and peppers, and the finger sandwiches. There was 18 finger sandwiches. Okay? 18 finger sandwiches. When my aunt got back to the house, they're preparing to go to my uncle's. There were 2 left. My Uncle Don had eaten 14 finger sandwiches in one sitting. And I'm going to send Colin the picture of the finger sandwiches. I'll blur out a picture of Uncle Don, but like these things are like this, right? Like they're like about 3/4 the size of a McRib. Okay.
Oh. Like
they're not small, which the McRib is back, by the way. And yes, I did, because you have to get it once a year.
Again, this is supposed to be about healthy eating.
Once a year, but I'm all right. I'm sorry, I digress. As I'm getting up the finger sandwiches, April, if you'd like, I'm sorry. My family has an eating problem.
Okay, so we all do. Okay, so it's a myth and a misnomer that people in the fitness and athletic industry don't fuck up. We do, and we do of epic fucking proportions. You would not believe the way we screw up. Some of my friends have seen it. We screw up. Here's what you do if you screw up. You just move on.
Like
You
me. See, here's
You
what
don't
you do when
beat-
you screw up. And I went,
You don't beat yourself up. The next day, if you have anything left over of what you had, throw it out. And by throw it out, I mean throw like cat litter on top of it and take it outside, because you know that you might, Twizzlers, right, Eva? I ate an entire package of Twizzlers one night. I ate a whole thing of I don't even want to talk about my sins, my food sins. It's just shocking. But you throw it away, you dump something on top of it so you don't go through the trash, because women bitches be doing that, right? We will go through the trash and pull the cake back out the next day.
if it's in the bag, it's still good. I've done that so many damn times. I've become accustomed to the taste.
We will do that. Do you know what my friend told me to do? Chris, I think it was Christy Vane. She said, when you go out to eat, she goes, and they screw up and bring the French fries to you anyway, after you told them not to bring the French fries, she goes, I immediately ruin them. So she will take the salt shaker and dump 5 pounds of salt on everything that she's not supposed to eat, so that she can't eat it. I've done that ever since. Yeah, I will take the salt shaker and like dump the salt, like half the shaker on stuff, so it's unedible anymore.
Really?
Yep, yep.
Well, what if you're like me and you enjoy salty things?
I don't know what to tell you. So I don't know. And another friend of mine, when she was out in LA, she needed to lose weight. She would have a cup of coffee before every meal, because it would kill her. It would kill her appetite.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Coffee before every meal. Yep.
That's a good idea.
So, or a cup of coffee and a little Metamucil before every meal.
Okay, that's cool. And you know what? There's always, like at the holidays, there's always coffee floating around and stuff. That's a really good tip. No, I don't drink coffee. But
if you fuck up, just don't waste time feeling guilty about it. Get rid of whatever's left over and start fresh again, either later on in the day, the next day, whenever. Like every a lot of people are like, oh, I'll start over Monday. I'll start over on January. I'll start over after the weekend. Start over now. Like every minute of the day is an opportunity to start over. You don't have to wait till Monday. You don't have to wait till January. Start over like now. Start over after the show. Start over. So, and no, salt is actually not bad for you. That's a misnomer. Salt is very integral to our body, to where if you get cramps, one of the best things you should be doing is drinking pickle juice, which is loaded with salt. So if you have leg cramps in the middle of the night, drink some dill pickle juice. If you get a hangover, dill pickle juice. You're welcome. So, but yeah, don't get hung up on screwing up. Don't get hung up on guilt. Guilt does nothing. Just move on and start over again. All right. Secondly, choose your poison. So if you are sitting down and you have the option of bread and potatoes, pick one. So pick one. Choose which one you like best. I know. But if you want to have a healthy lifestyle, for the most part, pick one or cut it in half. So smaller portions, cut it in half. So
yes, and I agree with that. But the reason I did the notes thing, which I don't even know what that is. I don't even know why I did that. But here's my issue. A lot of us, with family gatherings, it's the time like once a year when, Aunt Lucille makes her famous scallop potatoes, right?
Then have that. That is your cheat meal. You eat your face off on those holiday meals.
But with the pick your poison, like, so you're talking in general, like for parties and like this, not like the things that are like sentimental to us. It's okay to have like when Christmas dinner. Well, shit. It's the holidays, whatever, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, because like to me, like I just remember times like I just can't have. Like, stay away from bread. What are you kidding me? You know what I mean? Like that's bread's a warm up. You know what I mean? Like there's bread before the meal with bread and butter, and then there's bread with the meal. You know what I mean? There may be bread pudding after. Who knows? Depending on the menu. But like
bread's a vehicle for butter, man. It just is.
Oh my god, yes. And for those of you that don't know,
bread is my cake. Bread is my cake.
Not trying to give anyone any bad ideas, but a little bit of salt on the butter.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You salt.
Never had that till you did that. That was so good. No, so
yeah.
But yes, if you save your holiday meals for your cheat meals, do good up until then. Like I said, don't let yourself get hungry the whole season. Keep your snacks, keep your almonds and your jerky and your Kind bars and your dried fruit and all that stuff with you, so you don't sit around and eat an entire jar of whatever. And pink salt on a banana is good. Ooh, that sounds pretty good, actually. Okay, so lastly, and there's an addendum.
But they're the sandwiches.
Those
They're the finger sandwiches. Now that's my Uncle Don. You can see his hand as compared to the sandwiches, and this was the same year, but this wasn't the same incident. Like I said, there's always those appear to be the egg salad ones, which I don't like. I do the ham salad and chicken salad, but yes, he had loaded his plate up, but 14 of them were eaten in one sitting. One sitting. And he didn't give a shit, let me tell you. He was
okay. So Aaron's uncle, I'm not even kidding when I say this.
Which one?
The one that we're talking about, I believe. Is this Uncle Mike?
No, that was Uncle Don.
Oh,
no,
okay,
that was Uncle
mind.
Don.
Okay.
I've seen Uncle Don eat in one bite.
Aaron's uncle looks just, it's like Randy from the Trailer Park Boys. He looks just like
he looks like Gomer Pyle. He looks like Gomer Pyle, but he never wears a shirt like Randy. Should I text Colin?
Yes. Show him the one that you just showed me.
So
all right. So let's talk about intermittent fasting. All right. So if you can go 12 hours without eating, and of course 8 of them are supposed to be when you're sleeping, so you can eat up until you go to bed, but the next morning go a little while, because guess what? Breakfast really is not the most important meal of the day. That is also a misnomer. Just like the sun doesn't rise in the east and set in the west, the earth is constantly moving. So you can go 12 hours without eating. That will help you lean down, and it's really good for your blood sugars too. So a lot of people have to eat first thing in the morning. If you're that type, you should probably stop eating earlier in the evening. But if you can go in the morning on coffee for a while or tea, then try and go your 12 hours without eating. If you just look that up when you get off the show, if you're interested, it's called intermittent fasting. It'll explain it all to you. It's worth giving it a try if it's something that you want to get healthier and lean down. You do this, right?
I have sometimes, but I'm horrible about following diets. I'm not going to lie. So I struggle with
it. It's not a diet. It's a lifestyle, not a diet.
Yeah.
It's a lifestyle.
No, man, my lifestyle is, and I am trying to get better, right? Like I've talked to April about this a lot, believe it or not, about trying to live a healthier lifestyle. Because, as we get further and further from the age of 18, our bodies, they change. All right. Like you want to do the right thing. And I think all of us, that's important for all of us to know, like, where we're at in life and to make preparations for the future and take care of what we got. So, yes. Now this is not the guy eating the finger sandwiches. This is my Uncle Mike. Now you can't see it because he's sitting down, but I guess he's kind of a big guy also. He's got big forearms, but like everything with his weight, he gains it in the stomach. So he looks like that guy from King of the
Randy.
Hill. Well, yeah, Randy from Trailer Park Boys, where it's there. And it's funny because my family, we are from we're from Prince Edward Isle. So we're both like kind of Newfies, I believe. And I believe that's what they call them. But like, yeah, we're like, that's where my family is from. Like Prince Edward Isles, Nova Scotia. Like it's
so you'd actually talk like the Trailer Park.
Well, they do. Cause like
Randy, get in the car.
With Jim Leahy's like, come on, bud. Like that's what all my uncles would call me. Hey, bud, how you doing? Like it's a very Canadian thing apparently. Right. No. So Uncle Mike never wears a shirt, it will be wintertime, right? And so Uncle Mike plows. He has a giant. It's called not an excavator, a front end loader, which is just essentially like this big piece of heavy equipment with a bucket on the front. And he pushes the snow, and it's giant. He has a heater like cranked up, and this will be in a blizzard, right, in my town, and everyone sees him and laughs at him because like most people have just regular trucks like F-150s or 250s with plows on them, but Uncle Mike has the giant friggin' thing, and he's got no shirt on. He's got work boots and shorts. He's sweating. drinking a coffee with the window cracked, like letting the cold air in. And like you see him in this cab, and like there's snow falling, and if it's nighttime, you just see like the cab light, and then the blinking yellow light of this dude with no shirt. Like he looks like he's bare ass because he's sitting down and just plowing snow and like lifting shit up, and it's pretty interesting. And like when I've seen him going to places where it's no shoes, no shirt, no service, he goes in there and they serve him anyway. Like that picture was from my niece's soccer game. Like it was a soccer game outside with parents at a nice school, and like, you know, Sophie, she was like, yeah, she's probably like five or six at the time, and it's like these nice parents and Uncle Mike standing there with no shirt on, just like.
There's always an exception to the rule.
God, it's terrible. Like my whole family. People said I should make a thing about my family, but I don't know, because like some of these characters, like I couldn't say like, no, this wasn't based off of you, you know, like my cousin who was he was struck by lightning on 2 separate occasions, my cousin Bruce. And apparently when he got struck, it burnt, like he had a tape measure, and the thing burnt, and it was a Stanley tape measure. So the word Stanley was burnt, and it was asked for about a year because the lightning came through and cooked. Yeah. Yeah. My Uncle Bobby was digging up a septic tank, and he was in the hole. So they had to replace a septic tank. He was talking to the guy in the hole. My Uncle Ernie, his brother, went in the house, used the bathroom, flushed the toilet, asked her in the hole. Everything came down. Like he forgot. Like, why would you do that?
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, what the hell? So yeah, like that stuff you can't. I can't make that up. And I mean, there's other things I don't think I could say on the air because we'd probably be thrown off. But no, it's crazy, man. You know,
shitstorm actually.
Yeah, like yeah.
Pop said, I've lost, it's amazing that it's crazy that I've lost weight. Now I feel the cold, right? Yeah, I know, right? Now you start understanding how old people walk around in the middle of summer with a sweater on. So, all right. And last but not least, for those of you who have a hard time with, I know, right? Fred.
Oh,
For those
Fred,
of you
sorry.
have a hard time, for those of you who have a hard time with being physical or aren't comfortable with it yet, or have injuries or issues with working out, when you get done here, look up Pilates. So I don't know how many people are familiar with Pilates, but Joseph Pilates created a system to work out for people who are bedbound. So a lot of people were in the hospitals, and they were in wheelchairs, or they were in crutches, they were laid up, and he created different kinds of exercises to strengthen them so that they could heal and get better. And Pilates is a workout you can do anywhere, laying down in a chair, barefoot, you can do it anywhere. So it's little tiny movements that strengthen your everything, and you can do it anywhere, and you don't have to put on gym clothes for it.
Do it in your pajamas.
Yeah.
They should call it
do
karate.
it naked.
Yeah. Here's another thing, and I am being serious now. For a fitness tip, and I can vouch for the results. Is Ddp Yoga? I have the app downloaded, and I'm a user of it. But I think Stevie Richards, that's right. Stevie, I think he studied with DDP, I believe. But look, yoga has helped me. The flexibility and to see what it does. Like you, if you go to the app at any level, whatever level you're at, I mean, he does things for in the bed just to start getting the mud, and you progressively work up. And it is really, really good. And he has changed so many lives. And he's really somebody, I think, like, after wrestling, like we're talking about positivity here. What a positive guy. And he has an Amazon thing called Unbreakable, I believe. I believe that's the name of it. Let me check. If not, I don't want to be on my phone too much here, but there was a documentary on DDP, and it's on Amazon. I highly, highly recommend it. It's such an inspirational story, and I think again from one of the true genuine people in the wrestling industry.
Yeah.
And one of my favorites
Yeah.
growing up, everyone would give me, like, we're wrestlers. I was a DDP fan. I love DDP.
Yeah, he gave me. And I worked a MMA boxing event with DDP and Kurt Angle, and he gave me a DVD there, and I started using it. I actually really like it. Some of it's actually pretty hard, but he's got a bunch of different kinds of workouts too. But I would also, another one I would recommend that I'm a huge fan of is chair yoga. So, chair yoga is not to be dismissed for just elders. It is a really good stretch, and you get out of it what you put into it. So I would highly recommend that too if you're not able to do a whole lot and don't want to jump right in. So
it's not for senior citizens anymore.
No, I'm usually the youngest person in the class, but I don't care. I love it. I've been going for about 2 years now, and it's brilliant. So I feel it when I don't go. So, but yeah, chair yoga, Pilates. Look up the intermittent fasting. Understand that you can eat at night. It's what you're eating. It's kind of like it's not what you're saying. It's how you're saying it. It's not that you're eating. It's what you're eating. So try to stick to proteins at night. Have your holiday meals be your cheat meals. With your liquor, switch over from beer to vodka. Lower sugar alcohols works. And if you screw up, just keep going the next day or the next meal, whatever. Don't let it all guilt you and throw you down a spiral. Just be like, okay, I fucked that up, but I'll just keep going from here. A lot of people start spiraling down and they're like, I screwed up. I might as well just eat the whole house now. I'm going to McDonald's. So don't do that. Okay. Just don't do that.
God, McDonald's is so addictive.
It is. It's the fat in there. So
like the burgers with the onions and the
stop.
But how bad is that though? That I'm even thinking about that. You know what I mean?
Remember,
like how bad is that?
You can sub an apple for veggies or carry them with you. They are great. 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. So if you can cut your drinks with calories, that would be fabulous. And with any kind of working out or movement, something is better than nothing. All those little walks and stairs and crunches and push-ups add up. If you do 3 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 5 minutes there, it all adds up at the end of the day. And never get hungry. Always take snacks with you. Eat every 2 to 3 hours. Have a protein shake before you leave the house to go out to dinner or to a party. Those are my tips for you to get through this holiday calorie fest, so that you don't end up with the 12 pounds.
All right. Well, that's good. And you know what? The thing is, I think planning is number one. Like if I'm planning my week out, like I will actually sometimes, if I'm not like trying to like have a specific goal like I am now, but after NWA films, all right, like today there's going to be a Chinese meal involved. So it will probably be 1 to 2 protein shakes. And then that's it. Like I will clear the schedule. You know what I mean? And do it right that way. So that's just me. I try to plan like that, but and sometimes it happens like, oh, let's do this, or let's try this, or let's go here. And, you're going to have days where it happens. So just try to, again, have the foresight, to again, make, if you do it before, it almost not justifies it, but you can say, okay, like I fasted for this long. You know what I mean? I did extra cardio like for the last 2 days. You know what I mean? Something like that. Like if you prepare before for stuff like that. I find, have it done prior to. And yes, the McRib. every time it comes out, I have one.
Royale with cheese.
I might have had a couple cheeseburgers with the McRib because I was there. And I'm embarrassed of it. It was a few nights ago. I'm ashamed of myself.
It's gotta be tough to feed you. You're like 6'5" and 250 pounds. Like, how much money do you spend on food every week?
Well, it's not what you think. Like, I'm especially now where, like, okay, protein powder. But then I'm like, eggs, like the egg whites are great. Then occasionally what I'll do is like some grilled chicken. I'll put grilled chicken in a tortilla, like a wrap. So like a grilled chicken, some chopped up pickles, buffalo sauce, a little ranch, a little crispy onions, just to give it a little crunch. Bam, slam that down. But other than that, it's like protein shakes and stuff. I'm not what you'd think, in terms of like having to.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, like if I want to put more size on, yeah, like I'll have an extra bagel, and like I'm doing now, like I want to get my shoulders more rounded. You can't tell because of the shirt, but like, yeah, like for me anyways, like not, there's people way bigger than me, but like to get big, I don't need to like necessarily sustain, I think it's just the way my body is,
All right. Pops is asking, is fasting good for people that have had gastric bypass surgery? Honestly, I'm not a doctor. I wouldn't be able to answer that. You should talk to yours. I'm going to guess no, because of such the small amounts that you guys are eating already. I know it's very, very, I don't know when you've had that, but I know it's such a minimal amount afterwards, and then you kind of build up, but it still stays pretty minimal. So I'm familiar with, there being some like blood sugar issues and things like that. So I would run that by your doctor or do a little research to see on that one. Hitman said it's costing me more to actually eat healthy. And it does, but I always say you can pay more on the front end, or you're going to pay a whole lot more on the back end. So if you
just take extra healthy,
if you eat healthy, it's going to cost you more. But if you don't eat healthy, it's going to cost you a lot. So, and it's going to cost the people who love you a lot too. So you choose, you know what I mean? You put out a little bit more up front, or you deal with the repercussions. Because I really do think that we have a for-profit healthcare. And the AMA and the FDA, I mean, our food is banned in most other countries for what's in it. So if you're going to eat that, there are going to be repercussions of putting constant chemicals that most other countries say that are really bad for us into our bodies, and have them constantly filtered out with our liver and kidneys. I mean, we have a lot of type 2 diabetes in this country because of the high fructose corn syrup. So you can only drive your glycemic index. You can only go up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. We have so much corn syrup and everything, even bread and cheese, because it's processed. Oh, yeah. And you drive that up, down enough times, it stops working. And then you're on type 2 meds. So, and that's what's happening. You have to avoid the high fructose corn syrup because that's even worse for you than sugar. So, yeah, food and drug. Yeah, there's definitely conflicts of interest, and you really, really have to take your health and lifestyle choices and well-being into your own hands now. So make your decisions, do your research, and in any way that we can help you, we'll do our best. And
that's April, not me, because I will not steer you in the right direction. When it comes to nutrition, don't listen to anything I say, because I'm someone who struggles with it. No, I'm just going to keep it real. I'm just going to keep this what it needs to be, and that's a true conversation. I'm horrible when it comes to diet. April's helped me out a lot with my diet, and I just not for it, man. Chinese food tastes so good. Burgers are great. I enjoy chili from time to time. A good burrito. Who doesn't love that? Pancakes, sausages, egg, like their chicken sandwiches. Ooh, like I have an eating problem, and I love sweets. I love apple pies. I love brownies. I love cookies. I love Italian cream cakes. I love lemon mascarpone cakes. Pretty much every kind of delicacy you can imagine. So that has been my biggest enemy, I think, throughout the years.
Okay.
And it's a real food addiction is a real thing.
It is. It really is. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying you can find balance.
Yeah.
Or you can do your best to try and find balance.
Yeah. Lori said it too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a diet. Okay. This is not a diet. This is a lifestyle. And yeah, they created corn syrup because in the United States, corn and soy are the two biggest cash crops. So that's why soy and corn are in everything. Corn syrup is cheaper than sugar, and it preserves the products longer, keeps the bread softer, preserves the products longer. That's why they use it. So,
look what Lori wrote.
Like Lori said, it's all about reading the labels, and they do hide the sugar and use different names. So you kind of have to learn to recognize. Same with soy. There's something like 21 different names for soy. And a lot of people have soy allergies. So if you're experiencing a lot of gastrointestinal distress and people don't know, and there's no idea of what it might be, it could be that you have a soy allergy. So yeah, just learn the names, learn the labels.
What else did Lori say that was interesting about the MSG being in everything? It's addictive, and it's not just in Chinese food, but we all know that Chinese food has a lot of it. Yeah. Interesting that Chinese food is my food of choice. Well, because of the food addiction.
You're kind of an addictive personality type.
Yes,
is that a safe?
It is, and I'm reading this book. I'm trying to better myself, so I'll keep you all abreast of what's going on with me, and because I've realized like I have to make some good changes when it comes to food.
Good for you.
The Festivus. Yes, the poo-poo platter is great. They bring it to you with the thing on fire, and if it still stays on fire, you cook the chicken wings on it just a little bit. If you ever tried, you get some sweet and sour sauce with the poo-poo platter, right? Before that pink shit burns out in the middle. You take a chicken finger, put it on a skewer, a teriyaki skewer. So you got to take the beef teriyaki off the stick, put it on the skewer, dip it. What?
What about a poo-poo platter in space?
Oh man, now you know what? Now you got me. I was going to say, you know what? Now I'm not going to. Oh man, you guys were going to get like one of the best Chinese food tips ever. I was gonna just change your all's lives, and I'm not gonna.
That's Colin. Colin did that.
Oh, it's Colin. Then I'll do it anyway.
Right, nice one, Colin.
So then get Colin's coffee, whatever. So you take
shit burns out.
You take a skewer out of the beef teriyaki, put a chicken finger on. You get a side of sweet and sour sauce, and if it's a good Chinese restaurant, they should give it to you anyway. Dip sweet and sour sauce or pour a little bit on the chicken finger, and then just like a couple passes, so the sauce kind of like wraps around it and it's still crunchy. Change your life. Change your life. It's like amazing. Of course, you got to get crab rangoon. I don't suggest putting anything else in the fire but the chicken finger. And if you're a child, don't do that. Have an adult do it. Don't use a fork because it'll heat up. You got to use the wooden sticks. It's really, really good. And another thing is with Chinese food, I always have to have a Diet Coke. I don't know why. I don't really drink Coke any other time. Like I will get down on a ginger ale. Like I'm an occasional ginger ale guy, but Diet Coke, man, I gotta have it. That and the crab rangoons, and it's just
iced tea. You gotta go iced tea. Tea. It's not brown water.
No, Ben Lasso's. But it's crazy, man. Food is it's an addicting thing. It really is.
Well,
okay, good Chinese Heineken. That's okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
okay, Hitman. He's along the same lines. Okay, yeah. Good.
So that's pretty much it. So those were the those were the bits of advice I have for you all. And I guess that is, yes, sweet tea, definitely. Or some sweetened tea, something. Winona, good choice. And that's pretty much it. So I don't know if there's anything else if anybody has any other issues they are dealing with. If you do, feel free to write in and we'll tackle that. In the meantime, I wanted to say thank you to all of you who have subscribed. We really appreciate it. And thanks to our patrons. You guys keep us going each week. So, because apparently we have hosting fees. So if we're not making any kind of money at all, we can't pay our hosting fees. So thank you for being patrons.
Okay.
So that's patreon.com, The A Show. Thank you.
Much appreciated, man. You know,
thank you for
and as
throwing
we
bits
said,
and subscribing on here.
please get the word out there. If you like the show, tell a friend. If you don't, tell an enemy. Let's grow this community. And I think more people need to hear our stories. I think that was, you know, why shouldn't you just flush the toilet in space? Well, because at the end of the day, humanity gets destroyed by a giant flaming shit asteroid.
Are you gonna flex there?
What's that time? Yeah, you can't tell because I don't have a. Although
we can tell.
my pecs are coming back.
There.
But you win again. You win again. April once again wins, but I'm actually coming up. I'm coming up in the game right now.
You are welcome. Yeah, I see your pecs sucked. You're doing okay. You just got to tighten your shirt around there and lean up a little bit. There you go.
All right.
There you go. Yeah, and if you guys have questions about any of this stuff, you feel free to ask. You can tweet us. You can ask on the mailbag. You can write in, and we will answer your questions to the best of our ability. Even though we're not doctors, we like to pretend we are on Twitter and social media. So there you go. So thank you for being here.
Take the shirt off. You know what? I'll take the shirt off in a few weeks when I'm ready.
Oh! If you guys throw enough bits, maybe he'll take the shirt off.
Throw enough bits, I'll show my.
But fuck it. If you throw enough bits, I'll take my shirt off. Fuck it. So, anyway, thanks for being here. We will see you here next week, same time. And please, if you like us, please support us on Patreon or please buy a subscription. And we love you for being here. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Okay.